Before we get into today's video, let's look at today's video sponsor, Opera GX. Opera GX is the world's first browser tailored specifically for the gaming community, and is especially useful for PC gamers because of GX Control. GX Control enhances performance on your PC while gaming and having your browser opened, and gets rid of lag while playing games and listening to music. This is perfect if you want to keep a bunch of tabs open, but you don't want your browser to hurt your gaming performance. The panel lets users limit their computer's CPU or RAM they are willing to let their browser use. GX Control also features a network limiter. This limits network bandwidth used by the Opera GX browser to gain performance in games and streams. One of the coolest features of Opera GX is the GX Corner. You can stay up to date with the best deals, the newest releases, and breaking gaming news all in one easy, accessible place. You can switch between platforms and also see the upcoming games in the release calendar. Another awesome feature is that Opera GX features integration for Twitch, Discord, WhatsApp, Instagram, and more, all in one customizable sidebar. With my accounts connected, I'm one click away from seeing which of my favorite streamers are live or being able to browse the internet and send messages in Discord without the hassle of swapping between windows. Opera GX lets you customize the browser with special wallpapers and colors, which is also compatible with Razer Chroma, and it's also simple from the easy setup menu. Now, I'm someone who hates using light mode on most websites and am disappointed when there isn't a toggle for a dark mode. Now, this isn't a problem with the beta feature called Force Dark Pages, which takes away those blinding white pages and makes them darker and a whole lot easier on the eyes. There's plenty more features I could go into, such as the hot tabs killer, the free VPN, the video pop-out, and more, but I'll let you guys check it out for yourself when you download it. So support me and make sure you download Opera GX using my link in the description or pinned in the comments. Now on to the video. So the past couple days, I've been going back and forth on what I want to do with content now that Winter Champs is over. I wanted to take a little bit of a break, so that's why I didn't upload the previous days, but yeah, I figured, you know what, we'll ease back into it. We'll do some Scythe the Diamond. I know you guys love this series, so I love doing it. I feel like I can show you guys a lot of things. So yeah, without further ado, Scythe the Diamond 2. My gosh, and already we get to start off with the fact that I forgot to set it to tournament-only maps. Honestly, it's whatever, man. I don't know where the game actually places you, even though I've done this twice now. Like, I feel like the game places you, I think it's like basically silver at this point. I mean, I have 0 wins, but you know, it'll adjust pretty quickly. So yeah, I know some of you guys are like split on smurfing and stuff. Ultimately, now this is my perspective, and at this point my perspective is probably way different than what you guys have. Where's he? Okay. I don't know. I think smurfing is, you know, I don't think it's the best thing in the world, but at the same time, you literally can't prevent it. And I think it's just part of like just about every game. I don't think there's a single game in the world, as far as like, I guess, that has like a sort of ranking system that you don't see smurfing in. Because you're gonna have people that want to like get games and stuff. You know, at high elos, it usually can get pretty annoying to queue. I feel like I've talked about all this stuff before, so yeah, I'm not gonna, you know, go too much on it, but I think ultimately, this is what I said last time, the benefits outweigh the negatives, honestly. I mean, entertainment, and I remember, I saw a couple comments saying, like, you actually learned something, which is, you know, that's good. Ultimately, then, hopefully you don't have to deal with too many Smurfs, or if you do run into a Smurf, then you can just beat them. So yeah, you know what? Let's do something to this guy. Oh my gosh. Scythe this past weekend at Winter Champs did not do too hot. If you guys watched, I mean, unless Pierre was actually kind of led the charge. He did really well with me. He did really well into me with Scythe, and then Sandstorm ended up getting 3-0'd by Java, which was like the upset of the tournament. But other than that, I mean, I don't think I was gonna play Scythe. I know I said I was gonna play Scythe, but guys, after I witnessed the 3-0 from the Bodvar, I changed my mind real quick. I guess I'll give, though, a little bit of a recap of Winter Champs. If you didn't know, my previous video, which I just figured I'd get a quick upload out of, I uploaded Grand Finals, and if you watched it, me and Cody ended up winning, which I felt like this was one of my best performances in 2s, at least in the past like year or so, because I don't know, I felt like on Kaya I was able to do so much that I haven't been able to do on other characters before. Kaya, undoubtedly one of the best 2s characters in the game. I played Kaya in 1s, not really a 1s character, but it was really fun. I mean, Boomy Sandstorm are obviously insane. I guarantee, like, we're gonna see them again in Grands. but at the same time, you know, getting that sort of win in, like where you get bracket reset and then being able to come back from it was so big for us, because I think that was kind of a huge problem. Okay, so this guy just flew off the side of the map, and I don't know why, because now he's fighting me again. But anyways, yeah, it was really good. I mean, if you saw the last game, Cody like turned it up big time. I realized after the tournament, Vrax and Kaya have no killing power. Like Cody did like 950 damage, but that game went down to like 3 minutes. There was literally no killing power either of us had. Kaya has some good like strong sigs, and you know, Vrax sigs hit pretty hard too. But when you're running 3 strength Vrax, like you're just gonna farm damage, and that's pretty much it. But I mean, the plays, I felt like we just played insanely well. We like made almost no mistakes, you know, we got the dub. So the last game, the guy disconnected. I mean, like I said, not a big surprise, but I'm trying to think what I was going to talk about. Oh yeah, ones. So 1v1s, they went pretty well. I got 9th, which nowadays I personally think, like, maybe back 2017, 2018, getting top 32, you know, that wasn't honestly that big of a deal. But now the skill level in North America, as soon as you're in like in an eliminator for top 64 or to get into top 32, it's insane, the skill level. I don't know how much other regions have leveled up in that aspect, but North America in 1v1s at least feels ridiculously hard. And so 9th, you know, it is what it is. It's not like it's any worse. I've had worse placements for sure. But at the same time, I know that I could have like definitely made a run much better than that. But between midterms and like mainly focusing on 2s, I don't know. I just didn't really have the time to put into it. So if you will, that's my John for why I didn't play as well as I could have. Also, I ended up not playing. I mentioned it briefly earlier. I ended up playing like a lot of Kaya early on in bracket, and then I played I'm Llama, who's arguably probably the best Thatch in the world, and I played Kaya into that, and it felt horrible. So I swapped to Val, and I ended up closing it out game 5, and then I played Pierre in winner's quarters, and I started out strong, but he's actually he's really good, especially with the stuff he played into me. He played Fate, and like Fate is a character I've like got no practice into, and yeah, with the orb, oh my gosh, his orb was disgusting. And to finish it off, when I dropped down into losers, I ended up losing to Hardy MJ, who also, I mean, both Pierre and Hardy, if I'm being honest, it just felt like they wanted the win way more than me. Like I got what I was striving for, which was the win in 2s that weekend, because like I said, it was way too hard for me to honestly like invest into both while having to like do testing for school as well. This guy, is he gonna give up? Yeah, he is. But yeah, it is what it is. I'm not, you know, too disappointed or whatever. You just go on, go next, as they say. So yeah. Also, I guess my first like actual tip with, you know, dealing with a Smurf or something maybe, or just my, you know, because you know I try and like teach you guys something with these videos. I would say if you run into a Smurf, honestly, like try versus them, like see what you can get versus them, because a lot of the times it's just so worth like testing yourself, seeing where you're at, and also seeing like what happens when you actually try. Just giving up every time isn't going to get you anywhere, right? But being able to go back, look at the replay, and be like, okay, I tried in this game, you know, seeing what I could do, and it didn't work out, but maybe you can pull something from it. I like how I mentioned Thatch in the previous game, and now I get to bear witness to a Thatch player. Maybe he's a fan of the I'm Llama. Big mistake, spot dodge, dead. Yep. Yeah, there's just certain things you can't do against Scythe, and I think spot dodging off stage and dodging in off stage are like the two big offenders. Like any sort of dodging in, I feel like I'm gonna say this like as many times as I did last time, maybe more. Just people dodging in is just it is ridiculous how often people will just have the tendency to do that. It really doesn't make sense why people do it so much. Well, actually, it does. It's actually interesting. Cody described it to me. It's like it's a fight or flight scenario, right? Either the person's gonna like attack you, or they're gonna like go towards you, right? They're gonna move towards you, the fight, or they're gonna run away, aka the flight. And you know, I know that saying, but like applying it to Brawlhalla out of all things was always like a really weird thing to do. But yeah, I mean, it's true. Like when you have someone that's kind of like panicking and they would just want to get away, they're going to be, you know, spamming their dodge button, trying to like maybe jump away or maybe like force that dodge in because they're just panicking. Or you're going to have someone that loves to just do wake up attacks and like try and force out a move. Both arguably equally bad. I would say I think wake up attacks can be a lot worse of a habit in the long run. Actually, no. Probably dodge. It depends what weapon you have for wake up attacks, but I would say dodging in is probably actually, it's definitely worse for sure. Dodging in, it can just get you, it can get you hurt. But if you have a sword, man, you do a wake up delight like every single time. I mean, you have like a 30% chance of hitting that at least, right? Like if you're just throwing it out every single time, like that move is so good, gravity cancel. There's a couple others, maybe gauntlet delight. I'm trying to think of one that's not like, what's one that people, blaster GC delight. That one is also really good. And if you watch LDZ, when LDZ plays guns, that guy really makes use of that. I think another good topic to talk about right now is like, what is the meta in Brawl right now? Because a lot of people have been going on about like hammer this, hammer that, or I don't know, bow this, bow that. And I will say, I honestly think right now at the top, it's probably gauntlets and bow. That's my own take. I think both of those weapons are like absurd. It's so good. I think greatsword, someone's gonna pick greatsword back up, or greatsword's gonna get like an unnecessary buff. I think greatsword right now is fantastic. I don't think it needs any sort of buff. It's like super, there needs to be more play with it, right? People need to develop the weapon more. It's just not, it's not as deep as it could be. And we've already seen like what, like, you know, someone like Sandstorm, Pavelski, all those guys that won, we've already seen like what, I guess what we considered at the time like really good greatsword gameplay. Just imagine like a year down the line, if you have someone that's really committed to the weapon, like what that is gonna look like. There's just so many things that I don't even think I can comprehend how many different like options and different ways you can like approach someone, attack someone, do anything and everything. So with that being said, though, I think hammer is extremely good. I think when I see people, I've seen a lot of comparisons like, oh, gauntlet delight is way better than hammer delight. And it's like, yeah, but at the same time, you can't compare apples to apples with that. And I think hammer delight, and it's not a situation where it's like, oh, well, we can have only gauntlet delight nerfed, for example, right? We can have both nerfed. We don't need to decide, oh, this patch will have this change, and next patch will have this change. You can hit it in one patch. It was actually good to see Boomy win with Petra, because personally, I think that's like his best character, one of his best characters, without a doubt. I think his orb is like so disgusting, probably the best in the world at the moment. I mean, it's hard to argue otherwise, considering that no one has really played it recently aside from him, and that's super surprising to say the least, because this weapon is another one that's like, it's really good and is probably not going to get changed in any way. Definitely no nerfs, and I really hope no buffs. It just wouldn't make sense at all to like change this weapon. But that character is just so good. If you're like someone who really likes to play aggressively, I 100% recommend Petra to you, without a doubt. Petra's so good. And I think after this game is when I change the maps to tournament only, because nobody in their right mind wants to play on King's Pass. I think it's so weird. I get like the creators, you know, they made these maps, right? They want to have people play them, but this map is so bad. I don't know what else to say. Like, if you're wanting to play ranked, why would you ever want to play ranked with like a hole in the middle of your stage? I mean, I guess, I don't know. You can change it, and if you really care, you will change it. But a lot of people, I don't think, know that you can really like change the maps or like turn off gadgets. The tutorial needs to be updated. I think that's like what I can say about that. The tutorial of the game, super outdated. Teaches you the basics, but it's not nearly enough nowadays. I mean, it doesn't even tell you like what the stats are. Is this guy like, for a second I thought this guy was about to run unarmed only. That's like all he was doing. Oh, and do we meet our first like Hattori 6 spammer? Let's see. Weapon throw, unarmed. Okay, so this guy just wants to like run at me. I mean, he's playing a character like suited for it. Hattori's got the speed, but I don't necessarily think what he's doing is that great. You know what I noticed? I feel like a lot of the times when I run into a Hattori that plays like this, I feel like they are starting to grasp the game relatively well. Like they know, like, oh, like they know some strings, they know some combos, but at the end of it all, they still make really silly mistakes, and they just don't like properly execute certain things. I think that goes for a lot of people that are like starting, like, you know, they want to attack you, they want to fight you, they learn quicker, but they don't necessarily develop the best, like, I don't know, ways to approach a situation, because they always take it like head on, I guess. That's how I see it. I mean, look at this guy. Literally did not stop running at me, and now he's probably gonna like be fiending for a sig or weapon throw. Yeah, weapon throws are, they're just a joy to play against always. We love weapon throws, right? Weapon throws are just an absolute blast to always play against. I wonder if they're ever going to change him. I think they will, but it's such a, that is a dangerous process, because you could make it a lot worse for sure. Because at the end of it all, you can just dodge it, right? It's a simple solution, or you can, I should say, move out of the way. You don't need to dodge it necessarily, but sometimes it's easier said than done, especially when you're off stage and you're trying to recover, and then someone just weapon throws you. Like, that is the biggest cop out anyone can do in this game for sure. And oh, that guy could have gotten back, like right there. Like, why was he doing a side air facing me? No reason. He could have gotten back if he wanted. I'm gonna be real, Ada's like a forbidden legend at this point. I never see this character played. The only time I see this character played is when I'm watching Crocky stream, and he feels like, I don't know, he feels like playing Ada on his like Smurf or something. No one dares to traverse the Brawlhalla scene with this character anymore. Ada's just so like, it's just such a Y character. There's so much better spears, even though Ada's spear is like honestly super solid. And the guns are just not even, especially considering guns aren't in some sort of like absurd state right now. Arguably, I know Cody has a lot of complaints with them. They're probably in a weaker state than what they've been for sure. I mean, they had a 3-piece combo for whatever reason. I don't know why they decided giving guns for a period of time, like a 3-piece combo was like, oh, this is the change. Because that's not. It was just way too much damage off of literally hitting D-Light. D-Light sidelight, what is it? D-Light sidelight nair. That was just so stupid. But now guns are like, you know, they still do the damage, I guess, but it can be really hard. Like playing Barraza, I know Cody in his 1v1 run, he had to face against like 3 Asuris in a row, and it was Hardy, Stingray, and then it was someone else. It wasn't Java, but I know I'm thinking it was like eventually he had to fight Santi. I know that much, and that's like, dude, that's the gauntlet right there. And he beat all of them, which is just a testament to him, not necessarily like a testament to like oh, the character he plays is so crazy. I think he actually played Taro some of them. I don't completely remember. All I know is like I had to do some homework at that point. But yeah, it's like, dude, playing blasters in this sort of matchup nowadays feels so bad. In 2s, I mean, they're super good, but in 1s, play Barraza, right? I mean, you could play like a Cross, you could play Roost. There's a lot of characters you could get away with playing Barraza, and that was the saddest thing I've ever seen. But playing Barraza like into an Asuri just does not sound fun in the current meta. I think this game actually might be the one that puts us in gold, so we'll see. I mean, the opponents, I will say, have definitely have gotten a bit better. Albeit this guy is playing Dusk, which again, another legend. Just he's like the Ada of Orb. Why would you ever play Dusk? And why am I lag switching? This guy's literally, he's gonna make me lose. Cheating. Exactly, he's cheating. Like, what? He's gonna do some crazy comeback now. Why am I lagging? It's so weird. Out of all times to lag, just randomly right now. It doesn't help that, you know, the game shows that I'm green barring. That's what it is, I guess. Alright, Dusk, good old Dusk. Dusk. Orb, pretty hype, pretty cool. Spear, really good. I don't know how hype it is, watching people nair around. Dusk, though, Dusk isn't bad. His signature hitboxes are just way smaller compared to other like characters. I think, to me, that's like the biggest thing. That and his stats. His stats aren't bad, but you look at like how big some of the signatures are on other orb characters, and then you also look at like the stat spreads they also have. They're all like, you know, 3-4 dex legends practically. It doesn't, it just feels so unfortunate that Dusk kind of got, I mean, he was the first Orb character, but then he just got outshined instantly. Like, Orb went from, like, barely being recognized because of this guy to, like, everyone wanted to look at, like, Fate, Petra, Thor. It was just, no one really thought about Dusk. Dusk is just kind of by his lonesome, which I'm sure he'll get his retribution sometime, but it'll take a bit, that's for sure. With that being said, though, if Dusk did get buffed, I'd probably play the guy in 2s. I don't know about... Actually, I've played him in 1s. I can see myself playing this character in both game modes. But again, it would have to take a considerable amount for me to, like, really consider that, because I don't know. This character... There's so many other ones I could play. I'll just say that. There's so many other legends I could play, so it's like, why bother with him? It would take a hefty buff to make that happen. And do I get it? I don't know if I do or not. Okay, we got it. We got to gold. I think next time I'll probably talk a lot more on, like, people's habits that I'm seeing in the game and stuff. Usually silver. It's just a lot of people that are, like, I guess, getting started. And yeah, there's not too much to really, like, teach because a lot of the guys disconnect or whatever. Nonetheless, I appreciate you guys for watching. I appreciate the support as always. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye, guys.